All right, everyone, where are we? We are on 38th Street, and we're going to be walking along Fort Hamilton Parkway today. We're going to walk all the way to the end at down in John Paul Jones Park in Bay Ridge, down over at the foot of the Verrazano Bridge. That is where we're going. So we're going to get on to Fort Hamilton Parkway in a few moments. And we should also get out of this, we should get this wind on our back. So it's very nice out right now. It is only 66 degrees right now. And I got a little story about yesterday's walk that I did at the 86th Street Festival. And I'll tell you after we get away from these sirens. I bet you it's an ambulance. Yup. I knew it. Oh, the Jewish community ambulances. I mean, they just, they overdo it. Those ambulances. It sounded like a fire truck, but it just didn't sound like a fire truck, if you know what I mean. I think it's safe to talk now. All right, so we're going to do Fort Hamilton Parkway, like I said, all the way down to the end. And now that we have the wind on our back and the sun on our back, we should get some good light and sound. It is kind of early. It is around 7:30 in the morning. Maybe it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's 8 a.m. But in any case, it's early in the morning. Those are the church bells at St. Catherine's. That is a church that I used to go to when I was a kid. And that church, I'll show you guys in a moment, is where I had my communion. And then over here, they're building this huge, I don't know what it is they're building over here, but this is where the old Catholic school used to be. Look at this thing. I haven't been down here since they demolished the old building. It looks like a school. That's what it looks like. Look at that. That looks like a school to me. I'll give you guys a look at the church when we get across the street. Well, the sun is going to be in our way, so what I'll do is I'll stop across the street, directly across. So here's the church. Beautiful church. They recently renovated it. They changed the color of the chapel on top, steeple top. You can see some people going in there. Still looks the same from when I was a kid. And then this right over here, like I said, this next to me that they're putting this big building looks like a school, but that's where the Catholic school used to be. And then over here, there used to be a schoolyard here many years ago, and they built this big apartment building or whatever it is many years ago, over 20 years ago. So, and yes, I know a lot of people probably watching are going to mention it. Yes, I remember the bazaar. We used to go to the bazaar all the time. They used to, every year they used to have like a week of rides for the kids and all other kind of stuff. Flea market, games, bingo, all that stuff. And then they used to have White Castle right over here. And then, well, let me get past the school bus. We are in the land of school buses, by the way. There's more coming at us. Don't worry, I'm going to get to my story about the 86th Street Festival. The glass place is still here on the corner of 43rd. Let's see if I can get a view of it. Glass and mirror. One second. Right over there, glass and mirror. And then right over here is PS 131, which is a school I went to for 2 years. I went here for grades 5 and 6. You could barely see it with all these trees now in front of it. It was never like that when I was a kid. It was pretty bare. So a lot of these trees have grown in over the years. I went to PS 169 1 through 4, and 5 and 6 I was here at 131. Look at all the school buses, guys. What a mess. What a mess. These guys actually... Oh, he's got a tour bus is trying to make a turn onto the parkway. So the school bus is backing out of his way. It is just really busy down here. We got the light. Wow. Wow. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to tell the story, so you guys are just going to have to hold on for a while. Monday morning, by the way, guys and girls, this is what Monday morning is like on Fort Hamilton Parkway. It's just a mess. You know, like when you go to the beach and you got a bunch of seagulls squawking at each other? Well, that's That's what you got here. The only thing is not seagulls. It's trucks and buses and cars, and they're all squawking at each other. Hoping that maybe when we get past this construction zone over here, it'll get a little bit better. I did not plan this walk. This was a total spur of the moment decision. So it kind of looks like I made a good decision. It's quite action-packed. If you remember how we started off the walk, I was complaining. I wasn't really complaining, but I was mentioning how loud the ambulance was. Wow, that was an understatement. This is Maimonides. And if you live in Brooklyn like me, very good chance you were born here just like me. This is where I was born. They have one of the best, if not the best, maternity services here. A lot of people get born out of Maimonides. If you live in Brooklyn and you look at your birth certificate, check it and see what it says. Probably a 75% chance it says Maimonides. It's an ambulance. I knew it was going to probably stop because it's going right into the hospital here. Another block, and I will tell you the story, the little story. All right, looks like the traffic is now finally thinning out. More school buses. Plenty of school buses. That's one right there. And there's like 3 coming down the block over here. Letting out students so I could move. Okay, the story. Now, this is going to require, if you... Well, it doesn't really require, but if any of you watch the walk, And you might remember back, there was a small little part where it was when I was walking back. So I had walked all the way down to Bay Parkway, turned around and started doing the walk back. And it was sometime, I want to say it was probably sometime past Burger King, but I pointed the camera up one of the Bay Streets. I don't remember what Bay Street it was. And I was showing people how nice the clouds looked. I showed everybody the sky and I said, oh, look at those very nice cumulus clouds. And I had made the comment that cloud is gonna turn into a storm or something, and someone's gonna get rain or something to that effect, right? So anyway, I do the walk. I end the walk on 18th Avenue, and I see the cloud coming towards me, and it's getting darker, and I'm like, what is going on, you know? So I walk in the door, and it just starts. I mean, it was pouring. It wasn't like a little bit of rain. I mean, it was a drenching downpour that lasted about 15 minutes. Eventually, what happened was the sun came out, and it was still raining. It was still raining out. But the one thing I thought about was all those people at the festival. Here's the thing. It's one thing to get soaked, right? It's another thing to get soaked with dirty, elevated train track water. Let me tell you, there's a lot of chemicals that are treated on that wood. And there's just a lot of stuff that comes washing down off of those rails and onto the street. And that is the one thing I always tell people about the street festival is you don't want to be under there if it's raining, because like all that stuff comes down. Now I know we walked by a lot of those food vendors, and a lot of them had tents and stuff, but I'll tell you, I was thinking about like the smoker probably had to close the lid. Or a lot of the rides, you don't want those kids going in the rides now, because those are all soaked with dirty water. I mean, it was just it was really bad. And like I said, it wasn't like a small shower. It was a downpour, so it was enough. Like when I was looking outside my window, it was a lot of water going down the side street, almost flooded. This is the Monastery of the Precious Blood. Is a pretty big monastery. But anyway, yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, that's funny, because I had just mentioned that cloud, and that cloud just kept getting closer and closer, and I dumped a lot of rain on us. It lasted 15 minutes. The sun came out even while it was still raining, and then eventually the rain just stopped, like somebody hit a light switch, and it was beautiful for the rest of the day. But, you know, I'm sure a lot of people got soaked underneath the train tracks. So there's my story. Now, for those of you who didn't watch yesterday's walk, now you're going to go back and watch. You're going to have to hunt that part where I mentioned the clouds. One thing, I'm very good with weather. I'm an amateur. I guess you could say I'm an amateur meteorologist, and I do storm chasing, obviously, with the videos. You guys see me do the videos on my channel. But even I was caught off guard. Like, I had no idea that those clouds were coming. I guess the direction was... So I checked the radar. The direction was basically like northwest. Or was it coming... I'm trying to think which way. It was coming from the west. But it was like a weird direction. It was mostly like northwest going southeast. don't know, you get a lot of people looking at my camera today. I noticed like 3 or 4 people. These people are very conscious of the camera today. So like I said, the temperature right now is 66, probably warmer than that now as the sun is getting higher. It does feel warmer than 66, but it's only going to go up to 75 today. So the cold front is what we were waiting for yesterday. It came through, and now it's nice and comfortable. I'm tempted to go across the street and show you guys across the street, but I've shown the other side of the street a couple of times when I've done a walk down here. So we're gonna stay on this side. We'll see if we stay on this side for the whole walk. Traffic is still busy, but at least it's gotten much more quiet. The traffic flow down here is much better. And it'll pretty much stay like this now, I'm thinking, for the rest of the walk until we have to make, some detours and stuff. We have reached 59th Street. We started on 38th Street. So we've basically walked a city mile, 20 blocks. There goes the Circus Fruits Market, which we usually walk by underneath all that. So this is what it looks like when you're across the street, in case you ever wondered. Pretty big. It's 1 block. Circus Fruits? Where's the clowns? Come with clowns and elephants? Now here's an interesting question. Do they sell animal crackers there? Oh, I used to love animal crackers. Nowadays, you could just get the cinnamon grams, which I think are even better than the circus crackers. This walk is quite bright. Passing over the end line, the Fort Hamilton Parkway station is across the street to my left. I'm getting stopped a lot, huh? Traffic is trying to slow me down. This right here, this trading company over here, they're always open 7 days a week. You guys are never closed. A lot of stuff comes in and out of this place. A lot of rice. This is all rice on the pallets. I wonder if this is where all the Asian takeout places get their supplies. Hot pot, all you can eat. Another red light. Ay. I am gonna get behind him and go. There we go. "65th Street. Looks like I'm gonna get that light though, guys. I'm gonna make it across, hopefully, without having to stop. The light just went green, so I am, as we say in Brooklyn, I am booking it. Three guys, burgers and fries. They laid off two guys. No, this is three guys from Brooklyn. It's like a produce supermarket. This is like a supermarket in there. You got a whole bunch of stuff. It's a big place where everybody comes to shop in this area. A lot of people come here and then go. I mean, you got people that'll come out of the neighborhood to come here, so. Is that good English? Go out of the neighborhood? Better? Is that better? I am walking faster than him. Another light. And I am going to just cut right in front of this guy. Crosswalk anxiety starting to kick in. I'm starting to like take chances. This is Leaf Ericson Park. Oh, here we go. I totally... How did I forget about this? This is where the old Fortway used to be. The old Fortway Theater. Another movie... This is the movie theater I went to. So I went to 2 movie theaters. Lowe's. We did that one yesterday, actually. So back-to-back walks where we're looking at old movie theaters. Lowe's and the Fortway. Now you see this whole wall here? You see this wall? When Batman with Michael Keaton came out so many years ago, I'm kind of telling you my age, I was here for the opening day, and we had to all wait in the sun, in the same very sun that you're looking at, and it was like 90 degrees. It was horrible. We were waiting outside for like an hour to get in the theater here to watch Batman. And it is now a supermarket. Another light, and I'm gonna go. So I've been skipping the lights. This is a library. This is the McKinley Library. We're going to be passing right by McKinley Park. A 99-cent store here on the corner of Bay Ridge Avenue. It's a lie. There's nothing in there for 99 cents. You know what the 99 cents is? That's a tax. 99 cents is the cheapest tax that you'll pay on anything you buy in there. That's what the 99 cents stands for nowadays. Well, that, you know, these nondescript places usually are pretty good, so can't judge them. But this place is called 98K Chicken and Burgers. I never tried it. $4 for a 2-piece wings meal. Look at that. Three-piece chicken tenders for $4. I gotta try that out. We'll see. Murphy's Bar. Very nice color scheme. Looks like the type of bar you would see on the corner of a street in Rhode Island or something. Like, that's got the seafood color scheme. Now, I was in the sun for the whole walk, no shade. Trust me, I would love to be in the shade. But you know what they say, the cameraman never dies. No, the cameraman could never be comfortable. Angel! The cameraman has to sacrifice his comfort to make sure you guys get the best quality and the best angles, the best light, best sound. We're going to walk through the park, guys. I'm going to take you guys through McKinley Park. It's McKinley Junior High School. This is what I always grew when I was growing up. My mother would take me to this park. We used to call this Sunset. We used to call this Sunset Park Junior because it's very much like Sunset Park. It's got the wall, the retainer wall. It looks very similar. It's got all these nice paths, and it's got this little miniature highest point in Brooklyn. This is a high point right here. I'm walking up the hill to show you guys. So everything in here, it's like a miniature Sunset Park. Obviously, it does not have the pool, but it has all those gorgeous trees. It's a very nice park. Got the flags. You can see the winds. That's how the wind is blowing today out of the northeast. And they are doing some construction over here. Just like my park at Bay 8th Street, they are redoing the basketball courts over here. Last year they redid the park over there, the children's park. Now they're going to do the basketball courts. It looks like they're almost done. They've put this little gym area in here. We got, here in New York City, we got those, all the parks are being retrofitted with, the outdoor jail style workout gym. Is it too early? Is it too early for that kind of joke? All right, we got to kind of walk backwards to get forward. So let's go this way, and then we'll continue on our walk. We have to get past 75th Street, Bay Ridge. Well, it's Bay Ridge Parkway. I call it 75th. I put a number on every street. I tell you, I know it's Monday morning, but just take it from me, a person, local person that knows Brooklyn very well. I can tell you right now, the traffic today is way worse than it normally is, even for a Monday. I just don't know what's going on today. I'm not going to get the light, so what I'm going to do is show you guys St. Ephrem. And the bus is gonna just clear it. That is St. Ephrem over there. We definitely have to wait for this light. You don't want to. You don't want to try to Frogger this one. "10 seconds." That's what the don't walk light says over there. So that's how long we're waiting here. But this guy, dude, like, no offense, the guy on the bike needs to, like, you know, pedal a little faster there. I mean, they're yielding to him to go, and he's, you know, taking his time. It's like, it looked like he was in a daydream there for a second. We are in a road rage factor 5 today, guys. It's as I would say in the military, we're at condition Zulu general quarters. I got to get across the street, so I'm going to do it now. I got to be careful. All right. So this is that weird area that turns into. We were just over here, guys. We just did the 7th Avenue walk, right? So we were coming the other direction. So you're gonna see a little familiar stuff here until we get back onto Fort Hamilton Parkway on the other side of the highway. But this is that weird split where it becomes 7th Avenue, and then you gotta take a detour to get back onto Fort Hamilton Parkway once we get past this big intersection over here. So. Always quite confusing. There have been many drivers that get lost over here. Many drivers from out of town, that is. I mean, if you're on 7th Avenue, right? So if you're on 7th Avenue, you keep going straight, you end up right here on Fort Hamilton Parkway. And if you remember the other day when we were doing the 7th Avenue walk, I took us that way. So right now we are on 7th Avenue temporarily until we get past the past all these intersections that kind of go around the exit. So this is Interstate 278 over here, and it's a exit and entry point. So obviously when they built it, they had to do something with the roads, with the local roads. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk down a couple blocks, and then we're going to go over the overpass and then get back onto the parkway. This is the first time we're in shade on this entire walk. It feels really good. I'm not gonna lie, it feels much better. Maybe we'll stay in the shade for a while. I could use a break from the sunlight. So we have to get over there because this is 7th Avenue. I can't stay on this. A lot of construction going on over there. Can I walk down there? Yeah, I can. It's open. I'm going to jaywalk it. I'm going to do the J thing. One way. Easy peasy. This is a square here that has all the military flags. There's my Navy flag right there. Right here is the Navy flag. In case you ever wonder what the Navy flag looks like. Fort Hamilton Parkway. Wow, look at that, guys. This might be the reason why the traffic is so bad on the streets. Everyone's clogged up on the interstate, and they're probably all trying to get off to get around the heavy traffic. Look at this. This is probably the reason for all the traffic we've been seeing. This whole Manhattan-bound throughway is just almost bumper to bumper. I'll tell you what, when I get home, I'm going to make myself a nice big breakfast, I guess. Well, maybe I should just wait for lunch. That's what I usually do. Stuff like this I get when I get home. I'll just wait for lunch because if I have a big breakfast, then I'm going to miss lunch. This is where we ended the walk for 7th Avenue. Remember we were on 6th Avenue? That's where that's where we ended that walk. At that little park over there. I do want to get across the street though. And it looks like I got a light. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to stay on this side until we get to 86th Street. That's what we're going to do. But we're almost done. We have to get to John Paul Jones Park, which is basically 101st Street. We're on 84th now, so you could do the math right there in your head. You have about 17 blocks left. When we get down there, like when we get, close to the park, I'll show you all the construction that is going on. They are doing a lot of construction on the Verrazano Bridge on the on all of the entrance and exit ramps. Alright, so the way I have this timed is that by the time we get to 86th Street, we should be able to cross. So I should not have to stop very long, if anything. I always like to look down in here. Well, you know what? I gotta be across the street. So I'll get across now and then we'll get across 86th Street. Oh, look at that. Look at this opening. There's no traffic. All right, we have officially made it to the final stretch. So from 86th Street down to the park should be a pretty quick straight run. The only street we have to really probably stop for traffic is going to be 92nd Street. So So this is all residential down here. Well, I guess I was wrong. I mean, we have to wait for traffic over here. It's been one of those days. It's been a really bad day as far as traffic. Murphy's Law. Whenever something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Start to see the bridge over the top of on the right side, over the top of these roofs of these homes. Across the street, you got a big apartment building. On this side, you got small row homes. 92nd Street coming up. And then once we get past that, yeah. So we started on 38th Street. We've walked, well, how many blocks did we walk so far? Like 54 blocks? When we get to the park, it'll be a little over 3 miles of walking. City block wise, I'm looking at the timer right now. We're at 56 minutes, so 1 hour. Generally, 1 hour for me is like over. It's easily over 3 miles. It's definitely around 3.5, 4 miles of walking. So remember, we walked through the park. We had some extra walking through the park and stuff. This is where everybody jumps onto the Verrazano Bridge. Stay tuned. We still got some walking through the park. I'm going to take you guys through the park. And what I'm going to do is probably just we'll end the walk over by the gazebo. There's a gazebo in there in the park. Oh, you know what? No. I'll show you guys the cannon and the cannonballs. That's what we'll end it, over by the cannonballs. I got a lot of pictures of me when I was like 2 years old. Me and my sister. I was 2. My sister was 5, and we're all climbing all over those things. Back in the day, this is where you had, it was a couple of gun shops down here. On these corners. These corner businesses. I know, I vaguely remember possibly a gun shop over here, but I'll show you the one that I definitely remember because I actually went there when I was a kid with my father. '94th Street. Music Box School. And you know what I'm gonna do, guys? We're gonna switch over to the other side of the street here. By the way, you can see how much smaller Fort Hamilton Parkway gets over here. It really narrows out down here. That guy's turning, and I'll take this. I'll go. I want to be on this side so I could take you guys underneath the bridge and show you all the construction. Which, it's kind of closed off, but I can walk in the street. This guy's probably Parks Department. Yep. This is John Carty Park. They they rebuilt this park out, and it was reopened last year. And now, as part of the construction for the Verrazano Bridge, they are going to redo all of the fields underneath the bridge. I mean, if you look up there now, you can see all the wood protective covering. And then right over here on the corner of 97, this is where that, I told you there used to be a gun shop over here, around the corner there. You can see all of this protective covering underneath the bridge. Now, what we're under right now, this is the, well, there's different lanes for, there's a lane going up and lane coming down. We're underneath the lane that's going down. This lane will take you onto the Belt Parkway. That's where this lane will take you, the right side lane that we're under right now. And yes, in case you wondered, we're going to be walking right past Fort Hamilton Army Base. '99th Street. Let me take you guys across the street. I always like, there's this one house across the street that has like these, like, it's like they painted some images of the World Trade Center in the windows. It's been like that for years. Right here. See that? They got the World Trade Center, the Statue of Liberty, they got the bridge. Those have been painted like that for years. Alright, so this is where Fort Hamilton Parkway ends, right at the main entrance of Fort Hamilton Army Base. If you are a military member in New York City, you would know Fort Hamilton Army Base. This is where, now I don't know if it's changed over the years, but I know when I went through, and when a lot of people have recently gone through, this is where you go through to process before you ship out to whatever branch you're in. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be in the Army. If you're Navy, Air Force, Marines, you come through. You got to come through here for your physicals, for your aptitude tests, everything. This is where they set you up. You even take your first. You do your first oath of. Actually, you do your first 2 oath of offices here. You raise your right hand. I swear to defend the Constitution and all that stuff, this is where you do it. You do it twice. You do it the first day you come through here, like when you first have to come through here to do, you know, all that paperwork and the physicals and stuff. And then they do it the day of you shipping out. You come here to get picked up to be taken to the airport. They actually, I don't know if they still have it, but they take you into this really nice room. Really nice, like dark blue carpet with the flags. I mean, it's like really official. They make you do it again there. And then when you get into your, wherever your service is, wherever your duty station, you're going to do it a third time. So it's like 3 times you got to do the oath of office. So you got to take that oath. So we are in John Paul Jones Park. So I like to show this because I can't tell you how many people don't know what this is over here, this big thing. You get a lot of people that just look at it and think it's just, you know, I've had people tell me that's a water tank. I've had other people just tell me it's you know, to protect, I guess, from a truck going through the fence. No, this right here is a cutout of actual cables up on the bridge. So if you look up on the bridge and see those cables going up, that's what this is. Now, it would be nice if they put a sign here and described what it is, but you can actually see the individual wire cables in here that make up the entire cable, suspension cable. But you can kind of see how big it is. But that's what that is. And I'm sure I'll probably get at least 1 or 2 people that might say, yeah, I didn't know that. But a lot of people that don't know that. Here's a bridge. Shh, don't tell anybody. When I was a teenager, I can't remember. I might have went up this thing over here. This ramp. You know what? I was probably dreaming. Probably really never happened, but never know. Could have been real, could have been a dream. Very nice view. I'm going to take you guys over to the cannonball. Well, the cannon and the cannonballs. This is where I was going to end it. I was going to end it here at the gazebo, but I'll show it to you, and then we'll end it over there. We have like a Dover Patrol Monument. And we got the cannon. Cut through the grass here, and I'll take you over to the monument, and then we'll end it at the cannon. And they just recently like refurbished this park and this monument. It looks really nice now. They did a nice job on this. I know someone is saying, what is the Dover Patrol? Well, it would be nice if the sun wasn't in the way. I mean, you guys could look it up, but I like this to be interactive and let you guys read. I have to keep you guys engaged, right? And here we go. This is it. We're going to end it right here. I want to thank everybody for tagging along Fort Hamilton Parkway. We are ending it here on 4th Avenue and Shore Road at the park. Have you ever stared down the barrel of a cannon? Alright, so that looks good. A good way to end it. Nice view of the bridge. I hope you all enjoyed this walk, and I will catch you all on the next walk. Oh, look, my camera at the right at the end of the walk, my camera's doing an auto tracking thing again. There you go. I fixed it. So until the next walk, take care and bye-bye. I will see you all on the next one.